Okay, welcome to episode number 28 of That Marketing Show. Thank you very much for coming to our show and being a visitor. This show is brought to you today by none other than First Doctor, creating healthcare leaders. So that's going to be our subject today, about talking about healthcare practitioners, the way that leadership is in that space, and how we can improve upon it and have some real action steps for you to think about and actually maybe take. So we're going to talk today about scarcity. So scarcity is probably one of the most common things which creates a difference between one thing and another. Let's go back to making a very big difference. Gold, salt, right? What's more expensive? Salt? Gold? But around the year 200 BC, gold, salt was more expensive. Why? It was scarce. There wasn't a lot of it. Because a lot of people needed salt in their diet. They didn't need gold in their diet. So the reality is that scarcity, through history, really defines definition of what gets more attention. All right, so from a perspective of trying to beleaguer the point that we are in a new economy, let's talk about the new now. Okay, 2013 to 2015, the next 2 years, we're going to go through a lot of changes with how marketing is done. Now, obviously, there's been significant changes since, sort of the reemergence of the economy in the last couple of years. But what's really starting to happen, and what we're really seeing, is the change in the dynamics of how people are interacting, because more and more of the tablets, mobile devices becoming user-friendly and becoming interactive, and people used to using these interfaces as part of the overall economy. That's driving applications, and that's driving social interaction. Okay? So what we really talk about is that if you're a great health practitioner and you want to tell your story, and you want to tell your story in the best way, you're at a dinner party, you tell another person, that's a tangential, right, one-to-one. Maybe that goes to a few of their friends. You tell your story in a social setting on the internet, it's exponential. It goes to all your friends. They see all this. So the reality is there's a change in the dynamics of how do we approach the market. So how do you tell your story, right? And from scarcity level, how is your story, how is it different and more important, more relevant? Why are you more important than, let's say, the next health practitioner? Why you over another person, right? So the reality is that there has to be courage, right? So this is the bottom line of what we try and talk to people about and what we suggest for healthcare practitioners. You're going to have to start to be courageous about how you provide the story of your practice. Because what's happening very quickly in the market space is that people are going to become leaders, because they're going to come out and they're going to be courageous enough to tell their story, and those storytellers, the ones that come out and are the first ones to be having their own media platform, just like the Dr. Oz of the world, they're going to be scarce. They're going to be the ones that people want to gravitate towards. There's importance in scarcity. Remember this. Because one factor, if you want to be like everybody else, you can be like everybody else and be part of the crowd. If you stand out, you get found. Right? We know this. We do these videos that you're watching today that are being found. People are watching them and saying, maybe that resonates with me, maybe it doesn't. But the point is that there's some courageousness to put this information out there. Just like practice results, just like people who have had a problem that you can talk about and help them walk through this situation. Or maybe talk about the specialties that you do, or all the things that relate to the story of your practice. So think about that as you move down the path. As the next 2 years, we really transition into a much more exponential society where telling stories is on steroids. Hope this helps. I'll see you in the next episode.